to Contemporary Black Voices, where we talk about topics that are impacting the Black community and across the diaspora. My name is Dr. Sharon Michael Chadwell, and I'm one of the hosts. Sitting with me today are Caleb Alexander and Chris Dawkins. So today's show is very, very interesting. In fact, I am totally amazed as to what I'm seeing going on in this country in Africa called Burkina Faso. And because of the nature of the story, I decided that I didn't decide. I asked Caleb, would he mind facilitating our discussion since he is our in-house expert on African affairs. So Caleb, you want to go ahead and introduce the story?
Yeah, so a little bit about Burkina Faso. So Burkina Faso used to be called Upper Volta. It was one of the French colonies. It has suffered multiple coups since its inception. Of late, the last coup d'etat they had was about 2.5 years ago, and it was a young captain named Ibrahim Traoré who seized power. And so since he seized power, he has, as you see, captured the hearts and minds of African youth and of just people around the world because of some of the things that he's been doing. And the West has tried to assassinate this man about 37 times in about 2.5 years. And there's a reason behind that. And so he is deemed as a threat not only to the West, but to his fellow African leaders. Because Burkina Faso it's a small landlocked country. Mm-hmm. And what he's managed to accomplish over 2.5 years has put a lot of other African leaders to shame. And people are questioning, if this small landlocked country can do this, what is your excuse? And so that's kind of to set the stage for the conversation.
Can I jump in and say, why is Burkina Faso so important to America or Black folks in America?
So, I mean, it's you have to take a look at it in the entire context of it, okay? So this man is not just leading Burkina Faso. He's the presumptive leader of a group of nations, a wider group of nations in what's known as the Sahel, which is a part of West Africa. And so he has forged an alliance with basically two other countries, Mali and Niger. And so these two countries are also landlocked. And they were former French colonies as well. And so they formed a military alliance, they formed a political alliance, they formed an economic alliance. They're ridding themselves of French currency, coming up with their own currency. And if you look at some of the fastest growing economies in the world, Niger is probably one of the fastest growing countries in the world, if not the fastest growing economy in the world.
Wow, okay.
They basically kicked France out and took over their mining for themselves. And so now that they control their own uranium, they went from being, people went from paying 40, 50 cents for uranium to now they're paying the $100 and some odd for it, which is still below market value.
Right.
Which puts them at one of the fastest growing economies. And so he's the leader of a group of nations, which may potentially now expand to include Chad, which may expand to include Guinea. And so what makes him a threat is that now you have the foundations of something that a lot of people have been yearning for a long time, which is Pan-Africanism or integration on a wider scale.
Do you know if they are asking or accepting expertise from African Americans or Americans, Black Americans?
So with this movement, there have been people who have gone over from the United States and have met with him and talked with him, and he has been very receptive, to contributions and to dialogue with people throughout the diaspora. He's of a new generation. When this brother took power, I think he was in his early 30s. And right now he's probably in his mid 30s.
He's 37 now.
He's 37 now. Mm-hmm. So when he took power, he was about 30, I want to say about 34.
Okay.
Yeah, he's still the youngest leader in the world, or one of the youngest leaders in the world. I think the president of President Faye might be a little bit younger, but who's another African president. But no, the brother, he's dangerous because the brother, he's not a coward. This brother won all kinds of medals fighting in the front of the battlefield, leading troops.
He's very knowledgeable
Yeah.
in military.
He's educated, and he's proved himself on the front lines of combat. And that is something that's very, very dangerous to a lot of folks.
His presence is even disrupting Western nations in that these African countries are rethinking leadership. They're
Absolutely.
also rethinking who has access to those resources.
Absolutely.
And you mentioned the fact that this developing their own currency. If you look at the story of Haiti, what happened to Gaddafi, and there was one more leader where they were developing their own currency, how disruptive that was to Western nations' thought on how to control the economy. And so what I like about this story is this self-determination that we've been wanting to see from Africa. Now, well, I'm going to say that I have been wanting to see from Africa is happening in this region to the point where they're growing vegetables. They just released their EVs, their electric vehicles this week. And you're wondering, when did they have time to do the development of electric vehicles? But they have released electric vehicles to where what's his name? Musk can't even enter that market with them. They're looking at the free education. They're taking care of the people, hence the people are taking care of him.
Absolutely, absolutely. So some of the things, some of the things they've done, like he has, he's first thing he did was he kicked out the French, and he got rid of all the French military bases. And that snowballed because the surrounding countries start kicking out the French military bases. It snowballed to the fact where countries like Ivory Coast, which people thought would never, ever kick out the French, or have kicked out the French. And so this is why this guy's so dangerous. And so he nationalized the gold mines. And he entered into an agreement with Russia to build a processing facility. So now they're processing their own gold. The gold doesn't leave the country. They're processing it. He has entered into an agreement with Russia to develop a nuclear power plant. So now they're going to be produce their own energy, electricity, and be self-sufficient in that.
Well, let's put a pause on this. What we're going to do, we're going to come right back because, again, to me, this is a very, very intriguing development across the diaspora.
Stay with us, though. I will be right back.